Would you like to take on the great temptation of debtors and creditors?
Now, let me try to connect my remarks to both Axel and Beatrice. I mean, I was very much provoked by your statement, Axel, when you said that Europe could use a help from a helping hand from the outside. So I think when I look at the global environment from a European perspective, I see good news and less good news. Now, let me start with the good news, and I think that connects partly to Beatrice. Now, I know not all the panelists share my view, but I, for one, very much applauded to the QE launch, the decision to do the QE. If I have something to reproach to the launch, is that it's a year late. I wish it had happened a year ago. But anyhow, I think that's very important. Now, why is it important? I mean, obviously, it's important, I think, for the credibility of the ECB itself, for its own inflation objective of close to but below 2% in the medium term. Fine. I mean, we are clearly much below that. We see that inflation expectation have de-anchored from around 2%, and I think that's what led the ECB to act. But I think there is also an element. I mean, why is it a problem? Apart from the credibility of the ECB, which is key, certainly in this decision. Now, I think the other element does relate to the debt overhang. Inflation or deflation, that's certainly very much problematic, both for public debt and for private debt. So I think as one is talking of debt overhang, I mean, there is clearly a connection with inflation here. So in my view, the decision that was taken at the end of January that will be implemented in March for 2 years, and then we shall see. I think that's a very, very important decision. Now, why do I say that relates to the international environment? Because as we have seen, since the discussion of QE, and certainly since the announcement, that has had a major impact on the exchange rate. And there, that certainly, there's no doubt that when I look at the year 2015, 2016, that's going to be a huge boost to the euro area economy, the depreciation of the exchange rate. Now, you, Fabrizio, you spoke about the G20 and the need of G20 coordination. I think it was very interesting to see the statement of the latest meeting of finance ministers and central bankers of the G20 in Turkey. What was their view about QE? The view was, if not a positive view, certainly a benign view, like it had been the case in previous episodes by the United States or by Japan. I think there's not been accusation that this is currency manipulation. I think everyone can see that indeed inflation has fallen to very, very low levels in the euro area. Economic activity is very low, and that this monetary policy is justified on grounds of the internal situation, but clearly it does have external impact. Now, so I think I would expect, and certainly the Greece issue that you bring in sort of is a spoiler, okay? And there's no doubt that, when I look at the year 2015, I see a lot of good news, and then there is that spoiler. And it's really a problem, and I fully agree with you that one needs to find sort of a systemic solution to the problem that goes beyond Greece and beyond the problems of Greece, obviously. So I think I take that very much. But I think I find that what is happening on the macro environment, on the fiscal side, on the monetary side, I think the news are rather good for the year 2015. I think it is going to be helping exports. Now, from there, obviously, external demand, that is going to help external. Now, is this also going to translate at some stage into internal demand? And there the link has got to be investment. Is the fact that there are new opportunities on the export side going to translate into willingness and ability of firms in Europe to restart investment? Because we know this is really has been the tremendous problem of the European economy, is that investment has fallen very much. We have seen the charts, and it's hard to get investment restarted. We see some things happening here and there, but there is really no trust forward at the moment. So I think one can hope that the export will translate into investment opportunities. And there, indeed, I think everything that has been said this morning about the single market in general and the single market in financial services, I think that's a very important dimension of the investment climate. Now, let me just use 1 minute to say, so far I spoke of the good news and my optimism, actually, for the year 2015. When I'm looking beyond that, I find that the news are slightly less good. And why I'm slightly less optimistic, in a sense, on the medium term, is that even though we had a huge crisis, I think this crisis has not been used really to the full to be able to transform our economy. What we have done, and rightly so, we have put in place a number of mechanisms, number of institutions, the banking union in particular. And I mean, that was obviously very, very much needed. But in a sense, this is needed in a repair mode and sort of in looking forward. But in terms of structural issues, when I'm looking at the challenges of Europe, well, the challenge that I see now for Europe, they're still the same challenge, I'm afraid to say, that I saw 10 years ago. I'm sorry to say that. It's still about globalization, about the aging of population, about the capacity of Europe to transform its economy, to deal with the big challenges.
Andre, thanks so much for that.
So there I don't see really, I really don't see enough progress on that side.